Families have been gathering at America's National Park of Speed for decades, and it is a perfect Father's Day weekend experience. The NTT IndyCar Series is here for the Sanzio Grand Prix, and the top step to get to IndyCar. INDY NXT by Firestone is set to take to the track in perfect conditions. Sunshine, 72 degrees, mid to upper 70s today, and there is little cloud cover maybe coming later, but we think we will see no rain today. Thank you for joining us from Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin with NBC Sports. I'm Kevin Lee along with Charlie Kimball. Happy Father's Day.
And to you.
We are ready to race today, and I think the first thing we have to talk about with these young drivers is dealing with the conditions. It's essentially a brand new track, and watching other series this weekend, nobody can keep it on track.
New paving all around this 4+ mile racetrack. The line is way faster, a lot more grip from these Firestone tires online, but offline, it is greasy and slippery.
And it is going to be treacherous at times, but it is fast. Pole speed, 3 seconds better than the track record, and the championship very much in play as we get to round 16. And just moments ago, Georgia Henneberry caught up with the two that have separated themselves just a bit.
Good morning, Charlie. Good morning, Kevin. I'm here with the drivers who are starting 7th and 4th on the field today. That is Christian Rasmussen and Nolan Siegel. Christian Rasmussen, also your championship points leader right now. And Christian, consistency has definitely been a theme of the year for you. The only driver to finish in the top 10 every single race. Now that we're getting through this season, how does that consistency play into your championship hopes?
Well, like you say, I'm leading the championship, so I think that has been the key, and that has really been proven the key for the past few years as well in the championship. So it's so competitive, you can't win every single weekend, so getting the most out of the results on each weekend is so important, and I think we've done a good job of that this year.
That is Christian Rasmussen. He's going to start 7th today, and Nolan Siegel trailing by just 2 points. And this is also your rookie season, so take us back to the very beginning of the season as well, and this journey through the championship. Did you think that you would be here?
You know, I hoped that I would be here, but nobody really knew what to expect. Obviously, you know, as a rookie, you don't know where you stand, but we were hoping that we would be fighting for a championship, and we're 2 points out of the championship lead, and, you know, hopefully going to take it after today. But yeah, super happy to be in this position, and everyone's done a great job to get me here.
And that is Nolan Siegel. He's going to roll off 4th today. Guys?
And when we look at what these two young drivers have done, the 18-year-old, I think, has been one of the big surprises. Nolan Siegel this season, starting off the year with a podium at St. Petersburg. Christian Rasmussen, Charlie, was one that we expected to be in the championship fight and maybe the favorite coming in.
When we considered him a championship contender potential for last year, so the fact that he's coming in this year, leading the championship makes sense. But Nolan graduated high school last weekend. We talked about it in Detroit. He has been super impressive. I talked to his dad on Friday or yesterday. Talked about bouncing back from that first race heartbreak at Detroit to come out, and our most recent winner, Nolan Siegel, winning race 2 at the Detroit Grand Prix.
And that's why that's so impressive. He's a rookie up there with veterans in the series. Rasmussen, McElray, Frost, Abel, Louis Foster also is someone that I think you can keep an eye on as well. He's had a lot of bad luck so far this season, but he has been quick. All right, let's take a look at this 4+ mile circuit here. And the track map, just a little bit north of Milwaukee, about an hour and 15 minutes or so, and a classic road course.
You talked about it being America's National Park of Speed. It is fast. There are long straights, multiple long straights, fast corners, classic turn 1. The start's going to be really interesting. We talked about the new paving and how narrow the grip is, narrow the line is, all the series, IndyCar included. Having trouble keeping it online. Turn 5 is a big, heavy downhill brake zone that you come out of it turns uphill. So there's a lot of opportunity for heartbreak on the way in, heartbreak on the way out as well. Canada Corner has caught drivers out. We've seen incidents all weekend long here, cars in gravel, cars against concrete walls. It's a great passing opportunity coming out of the kink as well.
I think one of the other things that is new that Firestone has to deal with, and it's a new surface. It's a bit of a guessing game as to how the Firestones are going to last. They test, they have information and data, but you never really know until you get out there.
And I don't think any team has run a set of their Firestone tires for 20+ laps, which is what it'll take to get to the checkered flag today.
So we've talked about how it's grippy and it's fast online, but this is on board with Christian Rasmussen. Let's look at some of the challenges with one of the fast guys.
Sliding. This is the last practice sessions. Just trying to push that little bit. This corner twice in a row, sliding offline. Once you get offline, it's like you're in the wet.
Rasmussen is strapped in. 19 cars ready to go to Road America and just about to fire up. Let's go to the grid.
The Indy NXT by Firestone Grand Prix at Road America, IndyCar Nation member Jerry Hare.
Drivers, start your engines.
Such a beautiful sight, beautiful day, perfect scenery. You wish you were here. Make plans to join us next year at Road America.
A great
IndyCar
crowd. The camping was full, camping overflow was full.
IndyCar coming up this afternoon on USA and here on Peacock as well. But make note, USA coming up this weekend at 1 o'clock Eastern, 1:30 green flag. That's 12 o'clock airtime, local and central. First, it's Indy NXT by Firestone. Drivers hoping to be in IndyCar next year. And we have a first-time pole sitter. His previous best start was 4th, but the 18-year-old Kiffin Simpson, a Ganassi development driver, put it on the pole. And also a best career start for Colin Kaminsky. His previous best was 7th for Able Motorsports.
Row 2, race winners, but a row full of rookies. Reese Gold, winner of race 1 in Detroit, inside of row 2, outside of row 2, second in the championship. Winner of race 2, Nolan Siegel. Nolan has really been the most impressive driver to me so far this season.
Those are the two guys that split the wins in Detroit. Row 3, the best Andretti qualifier is Louis Foster. He's qualified in the top 5 in all 6 races. And Able Motorsports is strong this weekend. 2nd and 6th, Jacob Abel from Louisville, a Butler University student, will start outside of row 3.
Our championship leader, Christian Rasmussen, in that HMD car inside of row 4. Daniel Frost, his teammate, race winner outside of row 4. We've got a couple of race winners on row 4. See if they're able to come through the field.
We wondered if Jamie Chadwick might make a step forward. This has more of a European feel. Feels like Spa, and she has by far her best start in 9th. James Rowe starts next to her, coming off a 6th place result in the 2nd race at Detroit.
Another row full of rookies with Josh Pearson inside of row 6. Matteo Nannini caused a red flag in qualifying yesterday, disrupted the session a little bit. He is outside of row 6.
Keep an eye here on row 7. They are faster than where they qualified. Hunter McElray, championship contender, starts from there. And Josh Green has had a lot of bad luck. Both races, transponder issue in race 2, power problem in race 1. Also had some issues at the first practice. That's row 7.
Inside of row 8, Ernie Francis Jr. coming off that podium in Detroit, looking for some continued good results with that confidence. Christian Bogle went for a wild ride here at Road America last year outside of row 8.
By the way, that has been addressed in turn number 5, the curbing. Row number 9 has the Cape Motorsports drivers who were good at Detroit, still trying to find some pace here this weekend. And Nam Ahmed and Jagger Jones, who finished 2nd at Detroit, and Rasmus Lind has had challenges this weekend as well. He starts in the last row.
We're coming up to start this race, take the green flag. It's going to be all about the new track surface, the grip online, slippery offline, and we're looking for a little consistent conversion from qualifying. Who can start up front and stay up front to win this thing?
20 laps or 55 minutes. Kiffin Simpson is in charge of the field. He's in the white car, the yellow car. Slick locks, Colin Kaminsky starting to his outside, the black and yellow car. Up the hill, watching for the flag. Simpson controls the pace, and we are go at Road America. Kiffin Simpson gets the early jump. Looking around to the outside, now to the inside on a train. Can they get by 2 by 2? Reese Gold is going to try to look to the inside. Kaminsky is going to sweep to the outside.
Kiffin Simpson in the grass through the air on the outside of turn 1. Our pole sitter flying.
And now Reese Gold has taken the lead as Kaminsky gets big
lead.
Yeah, he gets an opportunity to get through, and it was Simpson that gets the big air and loses the spots.
Rasmussen stuck up Hunter McElroy, excuse me, stuck behind Kiffin Simpson, trying to gather it back up. Rasmussen on the outside there of turn 5, coming up the hill to turn 6. You can see these cars dancing around as the Firestone tires still coming up to grip, trying to find some grip offline. Skating, trying to put that horsepower to the ground.
Daniel Frost in that white number 68 Dinjet car, losing a little bit of pace coming up through the hill there. Siegel has jumped from 4th to 2nd. There's Jamie Chadwick in that yellow DHL car. Side by side a little further back, Josh Green.
You cannot successfully go side by side through the carousel, although it looks like Anam Ahmed is trying to, gets back in line, get on that dark new pavement, that darker strip is where the Firestone rubber has a little more grip.
Let's see this again. White car, red, white, and blue in the middle. Gold and the yellow car on the inside. Kaminsky yellow and black on the outside. They go a bit wide, so gold has already come through, and that's what we saw Hunter McElroy do in the test session, but it's simply too wide.
Yep, and Kiffin Simpson out, bounces off that curve. He's lucky the front wing didn't dig in and brake, fold back under the car. They're still 2, 3, 4 wide heading down to turn 3 as they try and sort themselves out. Coming back to turn 1 for lap 1.
So it's Gold, Siegel, Foster up to 3rd. Kaminsky has dropped a couple of spots. Then Abel, Rasmussen, Simpson, the pole sitter, has fallen back to 7th. On board with Rasmussen.
Jamie Chadwick in the gravel outside of turn 1, back live. She's going to be able to drive it through, keep her momentum up, and I think that was Nolan Siegel sliding a long ways back. I missaw, he's still running 3rd.
Let's see what happened to Jamie Chadwick, who had been running 9th, was being challenged for that spot by Josh Pearson back in the number 14 after missing Detroit because of Le Mans, and they did come together a bit.
Contact, Pearson is able to keep it in the runoff. On the paved runoff, Jamie Chadwick slides all the way out into the gravel, has to gather it up, keep her momentum. She gets off the brake, which is smart, gets back on the power, drives through that loose gravel.
What a shame for Jamie Chadwick, who qualified inside the top 10 and maintained that after the first lap. Now has to try to pick her way back forward, hoping for a caution to bunch things up. Now back up front, Reese Gold coming off his first win, a brilliant weekend at Detroit to really break through. Qualified well in both races, didn't find success in race number 2. Gold, Foster, Siegel, Abel, and Kaminsky. Let's check in with Georgia.
I asked the HMD Motorsports team if Kiffin had said anything over the radio after the start of the race. They said he was completely silent over the radio, but after watching the replay, they do suspect that there might be some front wing damage on the 21 of Kiffin Simpson.
You see anything there, Charlie, from our cameras?
It's hard to see. We will see if those front Firestone tires continue to go away, and I sympathize with Kiffin Simpson. My first ever car race was here in the June Sprints in a Formula Ford, and I was on pole and I got suckered in way too deep to start, went through the gravel a lot like Kiffin did.
Jacob Abel there, 4th in that red and white Abel construction car, is thinking about Nolan Siegel. Louis Foster, meanwhile, has jumped up to 2nd place from 5th to 2nd. He has been quick all season long. Really only has 2 results. He finished 2nd at IMS, 3rd in the 2nd race in Detroit, but the other finishes 14th, 14th, and 19th, despite qualifying up until this weekend, top 3 every time. And he's thinking about the lead right now, maybe trying to do a little over-under up the hill. This is towards turn 6. Gold in the yellow car with the
There's
lead.
No
he locks
grip
up
on the inside. That's the challenge with passing here, is if you defend too much, it's slippery offline. The guy trying to make the move stays on the grip, is able to take advantage. There's a great defense, though, from Reese Gold. Despite the lockup into turn 6, the car gets light on the inside there, low grip. He's able to hold the position from Louis Foster.
Top 8 are bunched up pretty good now, all the way down through Rasmussen. That's him back there in that black Vallejo car. And then a little gap back to James Rowe in 9th in the top end car, and we saw some dirt kicked up.
Off through the kink, running through the dirt. Kiffin Simpson looking to the outside. I think he's going to get it done around the long ways around. They're still side by side out of Canada corner.
Oh, that gets really tough through there. Somebody's going to have to
yep.
give. And Kaminsky is rolling through the grass.
Is he going to get it off, keep it off the wall? He does through turn 13. Rejoins coming into 14. There's a line of traffic to merge with.
Oh, what a save. He at least saved the car, but Kaminsky's front row start has gone away, and he's now battling in the back with Josh Pearson coming up the hill. Meanwhile, Siegel is trying to find his way around Foster. That's for second.
I don't know that they would do anything about it, but if I'm Nolan Siegel, I'm on the radio to the team asking him to get the stewards to look at Louis Foster. It looked like Louis defended and then moved back to the line. So we'll see if the stewards look at that for blocking.
There you go.
Ready to go. Try and break away cars behind.
This is into turn 5, the next best passing zone. Gold is stabilized a little bit. Foster, Siegel, Abel, the top 4. Meanwhile, further back, James Rowe, car 29, has been told to give up a position for blocking. He had moved up to 7th. And there's Inam Ahmed going inside Josh Green. Cape Motorsports inside HMD. That white number 47 car. His Imperium pink and white car is Josh Green. Pearson is right behind him. Green and white. So let's go back to a couple of things. First, we start with the battle between Kiffin Simpson and Colin Kaminsky.
And there's just no grip around the outside. You can see that car slide. Colin has to try and keep his speed up because there's a car tucked up right behind Kiffin Simpson. He's just not able to hold it. Slides way off in turn 13. He's able to keep it out of the wall, which was impressive. Rejoins back at the last corner.
Now, wasn't that for about 6th or so? So how did Simpson fall further back to 10th? So he must have lost something shortly after that when we were looking at the other mishaps on track.
But
Hunter McElray up to 5th.
13th to 5th. What a great start. Being patient, taking his time. We saw this last year from the Andretti Autosport cars. They weren't quick in qualifying. They were saving their tires. Different tire last year.
Foster, Siegel. Siegel trying to go the long way around, and he's going to get it for second. Nolan Siegel has moved up to second, and the 2 winners at Detroit are now running 1-2, and Jacob Abel is working on Louis Foster now.
We'll see if Louis Foster can pick that momentum back up. Road America is so much about momentum with these long straights, these fast corners. Down to turn 5 is a great passing opportunity if Jacob Abel wants. Looks like he's going to duck to the outside, maybe thinking about the crossover to the inside.
Foster defended nicely. James Rowe has served his penalty and given up a spot. And Abel's now going to try to go to the inside in that corner and not find it. That's for 3rd.
Louis Foster really struggling for speed right now. He needs to settle down, start looking further up the road. It's a great race with James. Oh, Kiffin Simpson with the late dive.
And he made it work
on Daniel Frost. That was almost a self-preservation dive. I thought he got on the brakes, locked up, thought he was going to run into the back of Daniel Frost. Said, oh, I'll just go by him instead.
Inam Ahmed for Cape Motorsports now thinking on Frost at this point. And they're all stacked up right there behind. So that's 9th on back. Simpson there at 9th.
Our pole sitter, our front row has really had a rough start to this race. These first 5 laps, Kiffin Simpson sliding all the way back to 9th. He'll have to regroup. That pass on Daniel Frost will encourage him. He'll have to regroup and think about using that record-setting speed he showed in qualifying to try and keep moving forward.
Here is a battle for 3rd again. Abel is going to get the spot on Foster. He gets it before the braking zone into turn 1. Jacob Abel up to 3rd.
It almost looks like to me Louis Foster isn't able to use the push-to-pass system, or he's saving it for later in the race, because being able to drive all the way around the outside, clear that car before the first corner, and that push-to-pass system gives you an extra 50 horsepower. You can't use it all the time, but the 150-second total throughout the whole race is not available on starts and restarts that first lap, but it gives you that extra horsepower. You pick up a lot of mile an hour down the straight, and that's what it looks like. Jacob Abel almost looked like Louis Foster's a bit of a sitting duck. Hopefully we'll get a report from pit lane in Georgia to see if there's an issue or if he's just biding his time for later in the race.
There's Christian Rasmussen, the championship leader, coming in, running in 6th right now. But things would flip as they stand now with Nolan Siegel running in 2nd in the race. He would take over the championship lead if things hold this way.
And Reese Gold doing a great job holding off Nolan Siegel. Those 2 HMD drivers up front, they won the 2 races at Detroit. You know they came in with a lot of confidence. And you can watch with the grip on this new paving, it's harder for drivers to pick out reference markers. With this new asphalt, there's very little indication of what's online, offline, just the little bit of darkening where that rubber's been laid down during the course of this weekend. You know, this is a lot more uphill than you expect as you come up to the start line. You almost get pushed down into the seat as you hit that compression up the hill.
That's a good point, how it is difficult to get your markers and to see what really is rubbered in. Colin Kaminsky started in the front row. Quick Car is trying to make his way back through the field, working on Christian Bogle back there. Meanwhile, let's find out what's going on with Kiffin Simpson and check in with Georgia.
I wanted to double check on that potential front wing damage of the 21 of Kiffin Simpson, but it seems after review, they don't think that there might be damage to the front wing anymore, but they are impressed with that pass that he just made to put him in the 9th position.
I still hold that was a self-preservation pass rather than run into the back of Daniel Frost. He said, I'll just go up the inside. Oh, we got cars off in turn 5.
And did not lose any positions. No, he lost 1 spot.
That was really late.
We're going to need to see that again.
That looked, judging by the radio from Hunter McElroy's car there, felt like maybe Christian Rasmussen was really late making that move. Hopefully we can get a replay of that. That's down into turn 5 at the end of the 2nd long straight here at Road America.
That's Louis Foster in 4th, and let's go back to this battle for 5th and 6th. So it's Rasmussen trying to make the move on McElroy, and you see the big lockup.
And just that little delay getting to the apex meant Hunter McElroy, that's a big lockup. You can see the mark on that left front Firestone from Christian Rasmussen. He still has 14 laps to go. That's a lot of miles left to put on those tires. Go on board here. Locks up that left front. He's trying to get it. He's sliding. The grip between the new pavement and the old pavement, that old runoff area, is significantly different.
So that's pretty fortunate not to lose a spot there. Meanwhile, back up front, Nolan Siegel is ready to try to attack again for the lead. He has stayed glued to Reese Gold throughout this race. Gold took the lead at the start in turn 1. Kiffin Simpson, the pole sitter, went wide, launched, exit of turn 1 over a curb. He fell back. Gold took the lead. Siegel has moved up from 4th to 2nd. Jacob Abel has moved into a podium position from his starting position of 6th. And here's Siegel going to try to go around the outside. Who's best on the brakes?
And that's,
Siegel gets the spot.
That's the benefit of having that grip on the outside, the preferred racing line.
Be smart.
Talking about being smart, it was still racing his teammate here, so he has to settle in. But I think Nolan Siegel probably has the pace. He drove up to the back of Reese Gold, so it'll be interesting to see if he's able to pull away while Reese Gold tries to take advantage of that draft off Nolan Siegel's car.
Nolan Siegel with a chance to go back-to-back, and it could have been 3. Remember the first race at Detroit? He was cruising to a win, 2 corners to go. The car lost drive, a mechanical, and he fell from 1st to 8th, but then backed it up with the win in the 2nd race at Detroit.
Reese Gold does a great job defending, but he's offline. It's slippery. He gets on the brakes to be able to make the corner, which is not what Christian Rasmussen did. Siegel takes advantage of that grip, heavy on the brakes, gets the car slowed down, clears Reese Gold, gets to the apex, and now is pulled out over a 2nd lead already in half a lap.
You see further back there, just making the corner in 14, Louis Foster. Charlie wondered if, hey, we're not seeing straight line speed. Georgia, you've checked in on his push to pass?
Yeah, as Charlie mentioned, there was speculation something might have been wrong with Louis Foster's push to pass, but after talking to Don Lambert, team manager Andretti Autosport, he said no speculation, nothing's wrong. He has just used most of it, a lot of push to pass from Louis Foster already.
And with a long ways to go here, if you end the race, the last few laps without push to pass, you end up being quite the sitting duck.
James Rowe has gotten by Rasmussen, so we wondered what kind of impact that big lockup in turn 5 would have.
Listen, you can hear that. That's that left front flat spot. That'll rattle his fillings loose for the rest of the race.
Further back, Ernie Francis Jr. being challenged by Kiffin Simpson, trying to make his way, the pole sitter, back to the front. Francis is not quite ready to give it up and has the inside line going into turn 6. Side by side into 6. Francis maintains the spot.
That is great racing, great respect from those two drivers, giving each other room. Kiffin Simpson didn't quite get clear of Ernie Francis Jr. at the apex of turn 5, which is what he needed to do to hold that pass.
Ernie Francis Jr. unfortunately is pretty far back in the championship, 10th, but that's because he missed a race after he broke a bone in his hand or wrist at Barber. But his results this season, 6th, 8th, and then I think a really breakthrough weekend because he had pace all weekend. 3rd and 7th at Detroit. And he continues to move forward. 7 more positions gained today from his starting position for Ernie Francis this season, and that has been a constant for him. Look at where Ernie has started, 17th to 6th, 18th to 8th, 14th to 3rd. The only time he lost a spot was when he started 6th at Detroit, his best qualifying, and still finished 7th.
Well, and I think we'll get a shot. There's just a black mark right on the tip of that light blue nose of Ernie Francis Jr. It's probably from the start, all that shuffling as we see Josh Pearson looking on Daniel Frost a little further back, not able to get it done. You know, that jockeying for position rubbed a little bit of rubber, Firestone rubber, onto the nose of that car. Won't cause any issues or any problems there for Ernie Francis Jr.
So we've got a couple, really 3 different packs in this race right now. The lead group of 5, and then a pack midway through, and then a group a little further back. Let's check in with Georgia.
With AJ Smith, team manager, HMD Motorsports, and 2 of your guys, 1st and 2nd right now, Nolan Siegel, Reese Gold. What are your takeaways halfway through this race?
Right now, we're just crossing our fingers, hoping everything goes well. These kids are doing a really good job. And, this reminds us of the last race where they were running 1-2.
Talk about another one of your drivers, Kiffin Simpson. He's been all over today. Started on the pole, back to 9th, but he's made some incredible moves that you yourself were impressed with as well.
He did a really good job passing one of his teammates, got under him, ran him clean. This first start was pretty exciting, looked more like a motorcycle race than a car race, but he's gathering her back up and doing a good job.
Do you have any idea what's going to be the deciding factor to really push it to the front?
With Kiffin, I think we just need to stay out of trouble and stay on the gas pedal. That's what he's going to have to do today.
Thank you, AJ. Rasmussen into the wall.
And it's a big contact for Christian Rasmussen.
It almost looks like that. I wonder if that left front flat spot that he was fighting, we heard on the onboard, that is just after the kink, after the carousel. You know, we were seeing cornering speeds through the kinks 10 miles an hour faster this year with this new paving. That's a big impact. Looks like he made contact with the safer barrier a little further upstream. The left side of the car taking big damage here.
And that's how we're going to hit the halfway point of this race under caution for the first time at Road America in Indy NXT by Firestone, the top step before IndyCar. Let's see what happened to Christian Rasmussen. Whoa.
Oh, that is so fast. Just gets him on the curb and isn't able to do anything with it. Doesn't look like any problem with the tire, but I wonder if that left front just had a little less grip. Coming out of the carousel, makes an adjustment to the bar, turns in, it's just not turning. And I think if we get another replay, maybe a little bit slower, I think you may see that flat spot from his may see a small indication on that left front tire, that flat spot, pretty big damage. Right here, you can see that left front, there's almost a step change in how the tire is reacting. And that's all. And he didn't get his hands off the wheel, which makes my wrists and hands hurt as he's trying to steer with the two right sides.
Yeah, there's no time. There's no big snap. It's just going that way.
We have seen some big incidents through the kinks over the years here at Road America. Looks to be okay, though.
Christian is out. They'll check him and make sure the hands and the wrists are okay. So we'll look forward to hopefully hearing some good news for Christian Rasmussen. Not good news for that race car. So under caution here at Road America. Indy NXT by Firestone. IndyCar coming up next with the Sancio Grand Prix. You can stay right here on Peacock and also on television on USA. Make note of that. The next couple of rounds for IndyCar on USA, 1 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock local time. And the green flag is at 1:30 Eastern time today, with a couple of former combatants in this series on the front row, former teammates with Andretti, Pato O'Ward and Colton Hurd, the pole sitter.
You know, one of our NBC colleagues was talking about, Townsend Bell was talking to me this morning about how competitive this Indy NXT field is. We look at the upcoming schedule. This summer is going to be really tight, really competitive for these drivers. We haven't seen anyone really set themselves out in the championship. Christian Rasmussen's championship contention really took a literal hit today, but we go to Mid-Ohio just a couple of weeks on July 4th weekend.
The field tested at Iowa recently, so they'll have some intel, and for some drivers, that's their first oval opportunity, and it's one of two in the schedule. And Indy NXT gets a chance to race on the streets of Nashville across a bridge. Now, meanwhile, you might have caught it there. Under the caution, Jagger Jones ducking into pit lane. So this is an opportunity if you're at the back, which he was near the back. If you've got a flat spot or anything wrong with your tires, you're not going to lose track position. So let's go ahead and get things sorted and see if you can start to move forward a little bit.
I couldn't see anything on that left front that they took off if there was a problem. But after that incident, you know, a flat spot causing an incident for Christian Rasmussen, I wonder if that's something that Cape Motorsports crew was thinking about looking at.
Jagger had really good pace at Detroit. Not only finished second, there was a little bit of attrition there, but he was quick. He qualified 8th that weekend, was a big step up. Remember, he is a driver that has driven these types of cars, formula cars, for one previous season. 1 year in USF 2000, won a race after doing some stock cars and a lot of national and international go-karting. But this is still a learning process, so I was pretty impressed with what Jagger did there in the Simcraft, Mecum Auctions, and Total Sim Car.
And you recognize the Jones name, you know, a long lineage of very successful drivers. In fact, the paint scheme on that car really evocative of old Calhouns and the classic IndyCar winner.
The 1963 winner with Parnelli Jones. Let's check in again with Georgia.
I'm with Kara Kristalik with Firestone. And Kara, what have been some of the challenges that you and Firestone have faced over the course of the weekend with the new resurface here at Road America?
Sure, those challenges started with the quick turnaround from the time that we repaved to we were able to get here on May 4th to be able to test. We tested with both IndyCar and Indy NXT to pick the right compounds and then get into this race weekend. Very quick turnaround for production, and then as well a really quick turnaround for the teams to learn this new tire here at the track.
So this seems to be a learning curve for everyone. What's the learning curve been like for you as well?
Certainly. So we wanted to come with something that was very durable, very safe for this racetrack. We came up with this one. We came here early and we were able to do some track surveys and track friction at the tire test. We learned from those, and one of the things that we were going to really learn this weekend was how quick does that track rubber in. And this track seems to have a pretty high affinity for rubber, so we see lap times improving over the course of this thing.
Are you seeing any similarities between the Indy NXT by Firestone tires and the IndyCar tires as well?
Yeah, we're learning from both of them, and in fact for this one we opted to use the same compound for both the IndyCar primary and the Indy NXT tire, so there's a lot of comparison between the two.
Thank you for your time. Again, that's Kara Kristalik with Firestone.
And that's one of the questions that I wondered about. And keep in mind, these cars need to go 20 laps. The Indy cars need to normally go 14 or 15 laps.
So it is the same compound, but being a little lighter, a little less horsepower, a little less braking capacity, less downforce, the construction of the tire is probably not quite the same. You know, the same compound as far as the rubber hitting the road, literally, but the ability to adjust the construction of the tire for what the load capacity in an Indy NXT car. As we see Rasmus Lind changing that left rear on his car, trying to get back out under yellow, take advantage. They weren't up at the front end of the field, so take advantage of this yellow, try and get a new tire, maybe replace the damage, or just look for some extra grip as well.
Let's hear some communication to Reese Gold a moment ago.
Okay, we need to be smart and push the pass here. We're losing a little time in turn 6. Think about what you need with your tools and make the adjustment. And rear bar won't move. I'm trying to get it, but it's really kind of stuck.
So how is that going to impact Reese Gold?
So he loses half of his tools to be able to adjust the balance of the car. The rear anti-roll bar is what he's talking about there. It limits the movement between the rear tires. If you've got too much rear grip and the front won't turn, you typically go stiffer. That helps the rear turn. If you've got not enough rear grip, you go softer, and that helps the rear tires with some grip and balance. And so you have that same adjustment on the front as well, Kevin.
Little reset here at the midway point. We are working lap 13. 12 are complete, so 13 will be complete at the line. We're going green next time by. Indy NXT by Firestone from Road America. There's Jagger Jones at the back of the field. We'll see if the changes help him move forward a little bit. Jamie Chadwick, Josh Green, Colin Kaminsky right in front of him. Meanwhile, up at the front, it's Nolan Siegel and Reese Gold. Jacob Abel has shown pace in that red and white car in third. Louis Foster, Hunter McElray, and a big jump for Nolan Siegel as they go up the hill. The battle might be for second place.
Green flag came out early. The restart zone is into the last corner. Jacob Abel looking to the inside of Reese Gold.
Abel, red and white car, is going to try to battle for second. Side by side through turn 1. Abel has the preferred spot, and he's going to get it. Jacob Abel moves into second.
Great job by Reese Gold holding on around the outside, able to defend from Louis Foster into turn 3.
And they all get through 1, 2, and 3 cleanly. Side by side for third now, Louis Foster. And there's a pack right behind him. Gold inside, Foster trying to go the long way around. Big wiggle for Gold, he hangs on to it. Now Hunter McElray is gonna try to come up and get 2 spots in 1 corner. How's it gonna come out through 6?
James Rowe, the inside of Louis Foster, everyone ducking and diving, looking for any grip offline. Great job, Hunter McElray, the over-under for that twofer to move into third.
So Gold has fallen back to fourth. The green and white car and Pearson with a little lockup. They all make it through. Kaminsky still trying to find his way forward, but lost some potential positions gained there.
Daniel Frost got hung out on the outside of the carousel there. Really impressive to be able to hold on around the outside.
That's Kaminsky in that yellow and black car working on Inam Ahmed. Difficult section here, side by side. And meanwhile, Foster trying to work on Gold. Gold is going to maintain that spot. Foster was trying to get him. Gold has dropped from second to fourth, nearly lost another one, maintains that. James Rowe is having a strong run in that blue TopCon car. He's in sixth, where he finished in Detroit a couple of weeks ago.
Down, get settled back down. On ice on that restart.
That sounded like Reese Gold to me. And James Rowe and Ernie Francis Jr. This is a battle for 6. Francis is trying to get that. Rowe will hang on to it, and Francis is going to lose out to Kiffin Simpson, and Josh Pearson is trying to go with him. So Francis lost one there when he was trying to move forward.
That is Josh Pearson in the green car and Josh Green in the pink car. I tend to get those confused, but that's Josh Pearson going around the outside, Ernie Francis, and now Daniel Frost as well.
Francis
hanging on.
They're saying blocking.
And that is, I think, to Louis Foster in the 26 car. And Francis now goes for a little bit of ride, and he's going to lose a few more spots. He's back there behind Kaminsky, now back to 11th. Let's go back and listen to why that communication came. Foster in the 26 car and Gold in the Gold car. Well, maybe it's not on Gold. Gold was ahead of him. So the 29 is who was aggrieved in this situation, James Rowe.
And I think that was actually may have been on the way into turn 5. Louis Foster squeezed James Rowe all the way to the inside, even though James was next to him.
So Foster is going to have to give up the spot to Rowe to put him in the top 5. They're getting racy further back. They're racy all through this field. That's Jagger Jones. Pit stop has helped. He's moved up from, I'd say, 17th to 12th on this restart. Now he's working on Ernie Francis Jr., and Colin Kaminsky is right in front of him. It's been an adventuresome race for Kaminsky. Francis trying to defend. Jones up the hill, looking to the inside.
Ernie's got to be careful here. He just gave Louis Foster a penalty for blocking. The blocking rules are you can't move in reaction to the car behind you. You can proactively defend. You cannot block in reaction.
Jagger appears to be quicker than Francis right now. Just needs to find a way through. He needs to be patient and take advantage into 5 down this stretch.
There it is.
And now Francis is going to give him the spot.
He just ran off on the curb, and so much of that's about momentum. Ernie Francis defended to the inside. Louis Foster trying to get the position back from James Rowe. Looking at the over-under, James Rowe defends a little bit into turn 6, holds the position.
Foster has served the penalty and given a spot to Rowe, so he can take it back if he wants. Kiffin Simpson is right there, ready to pounce in 7th after starting on the pole. So we saw Kiffin Simpson get air early. Let's see what kind of air Ernie Francis Jr. has. Not as much, but that still feels pretty significant.
You definitely feel that in your seat for sure. Ernie getting sideways at the exit of turn 6. Somebody kicking up dust there through the kink. That is not a place you want to be dropping a wheel. That is an awfully fast corner. We saw the incident with Christian Rasmussen. And as a driver, you're really cognizant of keeping it on the road there.
And Daniel Frost just got a spot on Kiffin Simpson. It was dropped from 7th to 8th. Been a lot of movement forward, backwards, back forward again throughout this grid. A constant has been Nolan Siegel up in the front, started in 4th, got to 2nd very early on, and then took the lead from Reese Gold and has stretched it on a 2nd. Jacob Abel got around Gold on the restart of the only caution of the race for a heavy impact from Christian Rasmussen. We saw him get out of the car. It appeared okay. Jagger Jones still trying to move forward in that 98 total sim car. Working on Josh Pearson right now. And Jagger looks quick.
So when I talked about that momentum, if a driver defends on the inside of turn 3, you set up, get the exit, and just like Jagger Jones here, you get the momentum all the way down that straight into turn 5, make the pass 2 or 3 corners after you start the attempt.
And up to the top 10, Jagger Jones from 18th to 10th. Meanwhile, let's talk about one of the drivers in line for a podium with Georgia.
Yeah, that's Hunter McElroy running in that 3rd position right now. He's been quiet over the radio, but when I caught up with Hunter yesterday post-qualifying, obviously disappointed in those efforts. He felt like he didn't get a clean lap, but he did top the charts in the 2nd practice session and said they even had more speed coming from there. So he knew he had a fast ride in that Andretti Autosport number 27, and we're seeing that show today.
He's working on Jacob Abel right now, and that battle is not done for 2nd. Hunter McElroy was one of those that realistically, legitimately was thinking championship this year and is still very much in the mix, but there's a little bit of a gap between the first 2 drivers and him coming in. Meanwhile, we've seen Louis Foster have a very eventful day, and it doesn't sound like he's very happy about it. Let's listen.
Absolutely no way, Doug. I want the whole race starts decision. It has not been reversed. You need to give up the spot. Let's joke.
He disagreed with the blocking call where he gave up the spot to his teammate James Rowe, and he's still working on him right there for 5th.
Louis Foster coming off a really challenging weekend in Detroit. He qualified up front. That car stepped out on the entry. It's pretty busy when you're going that fast. But he wasn't able to get the results in the race and felt like he'd thrown the weekend away or had it taken away from him with some incidents. And it'll be interesting to see if he can settle down, clear his head, and take that scholarship branded machine back up inside the top 5 with his teammate right in front. There's only 3 laps to go, but it's still over 10 miles.
And this is how the championship would change, and what a swing it would be. Already Rasmussen was going to give up the lead, running in 5th and 6th with Siegel running up front, but now that crash and a DNF and a finish of 19th. This is going to be a 42-point swing as Kaminsky takes another ride through the dirt.
That's the exit of turn 6, coming down the hill. It's just a light lift of the throttle through there, and it's easy to get it wrong and end up in the dirt.
There has been a lot of that in every series this weekend.
And looking at the championship contention, Hunter McElroy starting at 13th all the way up onto the podium in 3rd now is 56 points back from Nolan Siegel, but he's only 16 points behind Christian Rasmussen as they run right now.
A moment ago, more dirt tracking, so we saw that with Kaminsky. Was that one?
Yes.
Or is that another?
Yep, that's turn 6.
Not an extra one, okay.
He slides off in turn 6, and it is easy for offs to collect. Rasmussen locking that right front. Oh man, that's all the way down to the cords. You can see the fabric of the tire coming out of the tire. It's flat. He flat spotted that all the way down to putting a hole in it. Here comes Jacob Abel thinking about making a run at Nolan Siegel with 2 laps to go.
And they are close on best lap times as well. Fastest lap of the race is Nolan Siegel, but it's less than a 10th better than Jacob Abel, and Hunter McElroy has the 3rd fastest lap, Louis Foster and Reese Gold. So it is going according to the way the race has been going mostly at this point.
And the last lap, Jacob Abel was over 3/10 faster than Nolan Siegel, as was Hunter McElroy. So I don't know if Siegel made a mistake or is just consolidating and trying to manage the gap as much as he can.
We could be in line for our first repeat winner of the season. Not done yet, but as I say that, Siegel just gapped Abel a little bit there with a lap and a half to go.
I wonder if Jacob Abel's running a little less downforce, because on the front straight and the straight into turn 5, he catches Nolan Siegel through the back section, that turn 6, 7, 8 carousel kink, loses a little bit of ground where downforce would help you. You can make lap time in different ways here at Road America.
Top 3 have checked out. Not fully decided yet, but Nolan Siegel is control. Up the hill, when he gets there, he will see the white flag. 4 miles to go for Nolan Siegel to win for the 2nd time in Indy NXT and move into the championship lead. A mistake-free lap will get it done. Jacob Abel in 2nd. Equal gap back to Hunter McElroy. And then it is nearly 9 seconds back to Reese Gold. James Rowe is still challenging him for 4th.
High percentage. Nothing behind you.
4th, 5th, and 6th are still together, and one of them have told, high percentage there. Siegel up the hill through 5 one more time.
And you'd say an 18-year-old who just graduated high school, you might worry about the pressure of Jacob Abel trying to get something done on the last lap, but Nolan Siegel bounced back from heartbreak. Detroit race 1, won in race 2, absorbed pressure all year long. He has been so impressive, so consistent all year long.
Nolan Siegel finished 4th in the Indy Pro 2000, now USF Pro 2000 championship with 2 wins last year. So he was highly regarded. But 18 years old, as a rookie, I'm not sure that this was expected this season. he could have, should have won 3 races in a row. Only a mechanical in the first race at Detroit kept him from that. One more chance for Hunter McElroy. He's going to take a look here in Canada corner, but Jacob Abel is going to hold him off, and he should be home clear to finish second. So the podium looks like it's settled. And it's all about Nolan Siegel. Started 4th here in Road America, moved quickly up to 2nd, and then was able to get past his teammate Reese Gold up the hill. Nolan Siegel has won in Road America and takes over the Indy NXT championship lead.
There, buddy. Nice job, brother. Hell yeah, 40-point championship lead. So proud of everybody in NXT. That was awesome.
A hugely impressive drive for Nolan Siegel. And I think the same can be said for Jacob Abel with his 2nd podium of the season, and Hunter McElroy driving from beyond mid-pack from 13th to 3rd.
Hunter McElroy finished 2nd last year. I think he was hoping to repeat that performance today, but the maturity to say, okay, 3rd is what I got. After starting 13th, I'll take those points. It moves him 1 position, or keeps him, excuse me, 3rd in the points. Jacob Abel moves up inside the top 4. So other than Christian Rasmussen, who had that incident, the podium today are all in championship contention.
So let's look at how they finished up.
Nolan Siegel, the rookie, getting his 2nd win on the year. I believe it should have been his 3rd. He had an 8-second gap in Detroit when that mechanical problem happened. Jacob Abel, Hunter McElroy, 10 spots up. Great job. Reese Gold led 7 laps early, slid back to 4th. James Rowe with a good result. Louis Foster started up front, moved up front, and then slid a little further back. So a little disappointing for Louis today. Some issues with further back for some of these drivers.
Yeah, some good weekends went away, and some are going to feel like they never really got a chance to compete this weekend. Very challenging in some ways, circumstances. Round 6 is complete, and not much time off before we see the field head to Mid-Ohio just before 4th of July, so I guess that's still considered 4th of July weekend. We'll celebrate 4th of July for a week and a half this year, and we'll do it at Mid-Ohio coming up the first weekend in July.
What a great stretch of tracks for these drivers to go from one of the classic American road courses, you know, America's National Park of Speed here at Road America, to then Mid-Ohio, 2 great American road courses. These drivers get the experience that they will need when they step up to the NTT IndyCar Series.
And that is coming up in just a little bit. USA today, make note. And here on Peacock, 1 o'clock Eastern, pre-race show. 1:30 green, that's 12:30 Wisconsin time today. Hope you could join us for what a lot of us think is going to be a fascinating race. Considering the fireworks, we're not even to the 4th of July yet, and we've had plenty of fireworks in IndyCar all weekend. Drivers wanting to punch other drivers in the face. Well, that's Can't Miss Television coming up today.
Some sanitation trucks being parked within the driver's bus lot last night.
A lot of commentary, yes. A lot of words this weekend.
You know, I did not see Nolan Siegel being a championship leader after Road America coming into the season. I thought he would do well. I would expected a podium or 2. I figured next year would be his shot. But he has been consistent, he has been fast, he has been composed, which is probably the most impressive thing given his age.
Very mature young man, and obviously very quick, and a lot of experience, not just in the road to Indy, but he's got high-level sports car experience as well, and that all applies and is going to serve him well moving down the road. And now he is a multi-time winner in Indy NXT by Firestone, the first in 2023. And Nolan Siegel, Georgia, is going to climb out of his car as the championship leader.
He sure is. Their first repeat winner of the season. Our new championship points leader. Nolan Siegel, a 2-time winner on the season, and now victorious here at Road America. The smile is contagious, and he will meet me around the front of a car. Nolan, now the championship points leader. And Nolan, you told me that one of the joys of being a rookie in the series is that each and every time you are in this car, you are improving. Now you are a two-time winner in the Indy NXT by Firestone. How did you use those improvements in learning to pilot this 39 to victory lane today?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I've now done a few races with P2P, a few races in this car, and it's all starting to come together. So I'm comfortable in the lead now. You know, there's no stress when we see people catching us, and I think we've got the strategy down. So I think, you know, super happy with the job everyone did, especially after practice one. Getting it back together and getting it into victory lane is absolutely incredible. So huge thanks to HMD.
You are now the championship points leader for the Indy NXT by Firestone. How does that sound?
It sounds pretty good. I like that. I'd like to keep it like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nolan Siegel, victorious here at America's National Park of Speed.
Very impressive day. And this is how the championship looks. And Nolan Siegel likes the look of this, from 2 down to 40 up.
Capitalizing on that issue from Christian Rasmussen. He had that lockup, hurt that tire. When it failed, it put him into the safer barrier at the exit of the King. Hunter McElroy still hanging around, still in contention. Jacob Abel taking that podium from today, that second place finish, moving up into 4th. You know, Daniel Frost sliding back a little bit. There's still a lot of points to play for. With 19 cars, anything can happen any weekend.
No matter who it is in this situation, I still would say it's not over at this point. I do think that there are more than just 2 or 3 still very much in play through 6 of 14 rounds. Back down to Georgia.
Jacob Abel with an incredible run, finishing in that second spot. Hunter McElroy third. But Jacob, first and foremost, you told me this is almost a full circle moment for you. Your first time ever to a racetrack, 5th grade, right here at Road America with your dad and your grandpa. And now you're podiuming here, right here at Road America. What is that like for you?
Yeah, you know, I think it's about 10 years later, almost to the date, exactly, coming here and watching my dad race, now to come and, you know, get second. I wish it was a win. That would have made it really cool. But yeah, to get a second place there from 6th on Father's Day, 10 years later, it's been a really cool experience. Yeah, but huge shout out to the Able Motorsports guys. You know, I think we talked earlier, and I think we have, you know, one of the fastest cars in the field, if not the fastest car in the field, and it hasn't really been able to show earlier on in the week. So I've been really frustrated about that. But to finally come home and get a good result here is really awesome.
He was fast all weekend long. That is Jacob Abel coming home second, and Hunter McElroy third. Hunter, I know you were disappointed in your qualifying effort, but you knew you had the speed first in practice too as well. So how did you use that and that confidence that you had in the speed to work your way up to the podium?
Yeah, it's crazy. This year's been mad. I can't even describe it. You know, it's been all over the place. But we're obviously really fast practice too. Qualifying was tricky, but the beauty about this place is you can pass. So yeah, 13th to 3rd. Not bad, not a bad Sunday. Obviously, we still have some work to do, but we're there, and it's coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Hunter McElroy. He rounds out your podium finish for today's Indy NXT by Firestone Grand Prix at Road America. Charlie, Kevin, what a day.
Always love this weekend here, and it's not done yet. We've got IndyCar coming up at USA in a few minutes.
And these cars flying through the air, racing clean, back and forth. An incident for our then championship leader, Christian Rasmussen. Now we have a new points leader in Nolan Siegel.
A 2-time winner now. We'll see you at Mid-Ohio in a couple of weeks, and we'll see you here on Peacock or USA at 1 o'clock Eastern from Road America.